Hello and welcome. I'm Liam Clickinger, Director of APA San Francisco. American Photographic Artists is a not-for-profit trade organization built by photographers for photographers and exists to provide business tools and creative inspiration which help photographic artists of all levels run a smarter, more creative, and profitable business. I'd like to thank all of our current members for your continued support and encourage that if you're not currently a member, you visit us on the web at apanational.org to learn more about membership and its benefits. Today, I'd like to introduce one of our local members here at APA San Francisco, Jon Milavec, who has graciously volunteered to help our chapter create and share inspiring content for and about our photographic community. So thanks for all you do, Jon. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jon Milavec. I own Mixed Bag Media. It's a video and photo production company with offices here in the Bay Area and also in Atlanta, Georgia. We are joined today by Markku Ladesmaki, a photographer originally from Finland, but now living in Palm Springs. And he was one of the 2021 Something Personal contest winners for our chapter of APA SF. So, Markku, tell us a little bit about yourself, your career between Europe and America, and what you do.
Okay, so hello everyone. As he said, I'm a photographer, and I'm also, it's my biggest hobby. And I am from Finland. I moved from Finland to US about 25 years ago, and been shooting just mainly advertising photography here. And that's something I did in Finland before we moved here. And just like one more detail, even before that, the Finnish advertising thing, I was assisting in London for one of the great advertising photographers. Like one of them is Ray Massey. He was really excellent studio photographer and doing a lot of tricks and all kind of really cool still life images. So that's my short background.
Okay. Well, that's interesting that you mentioned tricks, because one of the questions that I have for you when we get to your website in a little while has to do with what I assume are some tricks. I'm curious to learn more. But one of the things that we'll see soon is that you work with a lot of people on camera, and I love you have a very strong feeling to all of your image that it's like a relaxed happiness where it seems like everybody is just really comfortable being who they are, doing whatever it is they're doing. And so I'm curious, tell me a little bit about your process in terms of, like, do you always have a big crew with you? Do you shoot by yourself? How do you work with all of your subjects when you are on a project, whether it's personal or for an advertising client?
It's always start with preparing myself for the shoot really well. If it's if it's advertising or if it's a personal, a lot of times I do like a little sketches. I do some drawings, and I'm not really good drawing some sketches, but it's sort of like I can show you a couple of, my style is like
I'd love to see some.
It's like this kind of stuff, or this, and I'll show you more. So it's like these are just like a sketches what I do before the shoot, and a lot of times I share with the sketches with the advertising agency creative people, and so they can see a little bit sort of like my point of like where we could set up, and maybe there's like some new new ways to see what we're shooting, and it's just been really helpful for me. And
I'm very big on sketches too. That
yeah,
in over the years, the majority of my career has been in video production until
right,
since 2019 when I started shooting
right.
photography as well. But throughout pre-production for years, I've drawn a lot of sketches, some better than others,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
very similar to yours. It's like I'm always going for to get the idea across as like a starting point to say, here's how I'm seeing it in my head, and here's where we can go from here.
yes. And there was like, I can show you one more thing. I mean, just like
Sure.
showing my what I'm doing sometimes. There was like a big pharmaceutical shoot a couple of years ago, and it was sort of like tricky for me to think about the better camera angle what the agency had on their layouts.
Okay.
So I was thinking like, how can I figure it out? Like if there's a better angles. So what I did, I went to the like it's called Michael's Hobby Store, and
Mm-hmm.
I bought some like clay, and
Yeah.
I bought
Wow.
these people. Like I think I built these like 10 of these, and then I built the tables and blah blah blah. So then I was able to take my camera into that set and sort of like, and I sent some like new angles for the agency. Like
That's
they were
amazing.
pretty excited about that.
I bet that's going above and beyond right there. I love it.
Yeah, I mean but anyway. I mean the main thing was like it helped me to going to the shoot more relaxed. I had more
Mhm.
answers already than without doing this. So
One of the things that I love about what we do is collaborating with others. And whether it's photo or video, I really truly appreciate somebody who can come in and look over my shoulder when I'm really excited about something and point out something that I've missed. Do you enjoy collaborating? Do you have somebody like that who can lean over your shoulder when you need it?
yes, I do, and that's really good thing that you asked me that, because uh, my wife, her name is Anne, or how they say here, Annie. She used to work as an art director in Finland and London, and we actually met in one of the shoots where she hired me as a photographer, and a couple of years later we married, and later we traveled with two small boys to America. So anyway, going back to what she's helping me and what she's doing for me and for us is that she's that second eye, or actually better eye, when I'm working on something that
Like the better eye.
yeah, she tells me always that when I'm like super excited and I'm like, whoa, this image is so good, look at this, and she's calming me down that like, maybe it's gonna be good, like if you work on it a little bit more and longer, but it's not there yet. So, and the same thing happens sometimes when she's on the shoot, so she's asking me to calm down,
So
not
she keeps you in
jumping.
check, huh?
Yes, and she's sort of like asking me not to jump like too early, like it's done, when it looks good, but it's don't start jumping, in halfway. So that's been amazing. She can, because I love to work on do the post-production, some of the images, and as you probably know that like it's easy to get blind for the colors and you know, the image on the screen. So it's so
Definitely.
helpful to have someone who can come and check it out and tell the, you know, the truth.
I love that. We both are lucky, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so lucky that I'm having her as a partner in this photography business.
Well, hey, I want to go to your website and start talking about some of the images there, including your winning image from 2021, something personal. Okay.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Let's go for it.
Just 1 second. All right, here we are. I like that you have a slideshow just as you're on your homepage. I mean, that gives a very quick overview of the range of what you shoot.
Right. Okay.
But now, before we get to your specific winning image, let's see. I'm curious about these people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why do these people do this? And how did you end up there?
So this sort of like, it's called polar plunging in here in America. In Finland, we call it this sort of like the hole in the ice. It's called avanto in Finland and in Finnish, and it's sort of like Finnish people. They just been doing quite a while, but it's so how I ending up shooting these images was that like I went to in Tampere, where I'm from in Finland. So I went to this my favorite swimming place where we always go to the summertime, and just like it looks beautiful and so on. And I went there in the middle of the winter. It was like freezing cold. It was like 24 minus Celsius. I don't know how much that's Fahrenheit, but it's cold, super cold. And I was like, whoa, there's people here, and they just all going to this this hole in the ice, and they walk back and forward. They go to sauna and going into that hot the water, cold water, freezing water, and so I had my Leica with me, and so I asked these people that like, hey, do you mind if I start taking some photos? And they said like, no, that's fine. But the only thing they asked me that like after I've done my shootings, I need to go to do the same thing then they do, just like jump into the water, you know.
Oh man, that was your price tag, huh? You had to get in.
That was my price tag. And I did it actually 6 times that one day. It's just like, wow. That was cool.
Wow. Had you ever done that before?
No, that was my first time.
Oh, wow.
But
if they said that to me, I probably would have had to leave. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. But one thing is like the shooting these, as I mentioned, I had my Leica camera with me. It was easier to, because basically I like that camera looks like more like a, you know, hobby. You know, it doesn't look like a big lens or black camera. You know, like super professional. So it didn't scare these people either. So it was actually quite fun to shoot them, you know, and relaxed and, you know.
Well, I love it. I love how it feels. I mean, that was one of the first groupings I thought of when I was thinking about, you know, just kind of relaxed people, just really comfortable being themselves with you and with the camera in your hands.
Yeah.
Now,
and now when we talked about those images, I'm adding a new video of that, the whole thing, what I shot there. It's going to be available tomorrow on my website. So all the viewers, they can go to the
Fantastic.
video site and they can see it,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now here is a project that I'm really curious about, the California Aqueduct series. Tell me how you came to shoot this and kind of decide on these images. I love them. I think they're really interesting and cool. But was this for anything other than just for
Yeah, I mean,
yourself?
this happened so that my agent, I had a call with my agent, and just like we just talked overall about like images and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked me like, do you have any ideas for my next personal project? And I said like, no, but then there was like a lot of stories in news. I think it was like, I don't know, like maybe 5-6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
about the California drought. It was just like
Right.
every news is like hit that's like how bad it is and blah blah blah. So I start on that call. I start like, hey, I'm gonna find out where all the water comes to LA, and just that follow this, aqueduct, and
Right.
just go along the aqueduct all the way where it started. So that
Okay.
was my idea, to just find out where the water is coming to LA from,
I
and it
love it.
was,
I mean,
yeah,
even just this very first image, it's so evocative of a road. I mean, I really want to be like, what's in those hills? It's like it really pulls you in, or for me at least, it pulls me in and it makes me want to look closer and be like, wow, what town is that? Where are all those houses? And then why is this
yeah,
guy fishing? And this guy on the horse, like, how did he get there? I mean, it's like there's just a lot for these, I guess for these to be really simple in what is captured in the frame. There's a lot to pull you in, and I think that's why I like them so much.
yeah, because like those the first images what you talked about, like I think that was in Lancaster or Palmdale, just like maybe an hour from LA.
Okay.
And I saw that there's a hill above that aqueduct where might be amazing view to the aqueduct. And
Oh, wow.
so I decided that like, okay, next morning I'm gonna go there 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'll be there like before the sun is rising. And I've sneaked in. There was like a fencing and stuff like that, but I sneaked in
Mhm.
and I climb up on that hill, and that's like, it was looking pretty nice. So
Yeah.
that's how that came, that those images and where I shot them.
Yeah.
And I was just, when I was driving along the aqueduct, I saw different things and came up with different ideas. Just like the horse, I saw that there was like some stables, and I went there and like, hey, what about if someone's just riding a horse close to the aqueduct? And
That's great that you made that happen.
yeah, I mean that's what I do. That's, if I don't do that, it will stick in my head. Like, why didn't I do that? So
Well, tell me more about that. I mean, when you're just, when you are out and whether it's asking, people doing a polar plunge in Finland, or asking somebody at a horse stable to come and ride out near the aqueduct, do you find that most people will go along with it, or do you get turned down a lot? Like, how does that work for you?
so far it's been working really, really well. I can't remember any sort of like moment that someone is turning down,
Wow.
because I'm mainly, if I'm going like countrysides and like Finland, it's a smaller place. So I guess like it's maybe the way I'm asking. It's maybe my, like Finnish accent, like that sort of like they think like that's just like a tourist someone, like they don't take
Right.
it, they don't think that like he's really photographer or whatever.
You're a secret professional.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to touch back on the fact that that conversation that you and your agent had about personal work. And the whole reason we're here is because of you entering our Something Personal contest. Well, one of the things that struck me about your website and your work is this long list. You have a longer list of personal projects than any other category. Am I correct in thinking that you are just shooting all the time? It seems like you are a person who takes your camera with you all the time and is just capturing images wherever you end. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm always trying to come up with some new personal projects. Because I don't know, it's just maybe it's more, I mean, really enjoying to do those and creating the stories and finding like new people, new places through that. So that's what
I agree
I do.
that,
And
similar to,
it's like every time if I travel to different countries or new cities, I often trying to book myself like a day or two or even 4 days after the shoot so that I can find something personal to shoot there.
that's really smart. And that's a really good tip for a lot of people. I think a lot of people don't, they travel for work and go do their shoot and then come home and don't necessarily plan for that extra time where it's like, well, hey, while you have the opportunity, take advantage of it if you can.
Yeah, like one good example, when I was in Mumbai shooting, just like it was just a couple of images for American company, and after that shoot, I think it's like a 4 days shoot in different places. So I went. I had like three days for my personal work, and I didn't know what to do. So what I did, I went to the bar in this hotel where I'm staying, and I ordered a beer, pen, and a paper, and I start sketching. And it's like, and my first sketch there was like a taxi profile and the driver, different car, different location every time, but sort of like similar profile setting. So after 2 beers, I was good to go.
The idea was fully formed.
Yeah.
I love it. This is a great series. Well, and so tell me about some of these people. I mean, it looks like you met and shot a lot of drivers in their cars.
Yeah, basically I had a translator with me because I don't speak their language. So we just booked like one taxi for a whole day, and we just traveled around the city. And when I saw the good location, then we just like found a taxi, and we asked like if the driver can just like pose for us. So, and then boom, next location.
Yeah. That sounds like a full day because you got a lot here. And so to have this many images here in your gallery, I know you shot a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I think I got like 80 images from those 3 days or 2.5 days shoot. So
Okay.
it was pretty lucky. And now we got
Well,
this, I need to advertise this Mumbai taxi company line,
yeah.
this hat. So we actually sell these on we got the website for these.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, it's
Very
just like
good.
a fun product after that Mumbai taxi company shoot.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's go back to your winning image from last year. I want to hear the story of these hockey players. Where were they, and how did you end up there to capture this image?
So this was again in that same town, Tampere, where I'm from, and my wife is also from.
Okay.
So I think we were staying there a couple of weeks, and we actually stayed at my wife's parents' place. So after a couple of days, I said like, oh, maybe I gotta go and find something to drive around. And I just like discovered these sort of like ice rinks, like some of them, I mean, they're just like ice in different areas, and it just looked good. It was really super cold, but
It looks super cold.
yeah, but it was really fun to shoot this. So I was driving around, and I kind of like had an idea where they have these. There's probably 50 of these in that city. So
Wow. Well, hey, for images like this, for the Mumbai taxi company, and for all of these stories that you've told me so far, the fact that you talk about these projects with your agent, tell me about how your personal work informs your your advertising work, and any other projects that for any other projects you do for pay. How does your personal work inform ideas or even the jobs that you and your agent go after to try and get for you?
I guess I don't. I mean, it's hard for me to say, but the uh, personal work, I just do what I love to do and what I find interesting, and I'm sort of like very curious of like what's going on some places. So then that's obviously affects to when some like advertising people, when they see my website. So that they see that like what I'm shooting without any of their concept. So what's
Right.
what's my style.
Okay.
And these, what you just showed, these like rowboats, or how do you say,
Yeah.
like this I just came up because that summer place where we're staying in Finland. So that's I was really getting into that, like doing this rowing, and I was like, wow, this could be actually pretty cool to shoot some people like doing that thing. And it's sort of like very traditional things in Finland. There's like so many lakes. It's like 100,000 or 80,000 lakes. So
Wow.
everyone's doing that. So I mean, not everyone, but
Right,
a lot
but
of
it's
people.
pretty common though.
Yeah.
And these images are gorgeous, and I love that idea of being in a small boat on the water. But I mean, things like this where again, it's just so relaxed, and it's like, yeah, like, you know, this doesn't seem strange at all that there are musicians playing in a boat. In
Yeah.
America, I think many people would think that's strange, but in this context, in this setting, it's like, well, yeah, that looks totally normal.
Yeah. That's nice.
that looks harsh. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
He looks like he wishes that he hadn't gone out so far.
yeah. This is actually that guy is the what you just like this guy I was talking about. He's a copywriter in the advertising world in Finland,
Okay.
and I was talking. He's also really into this same thing, and I was talking with him about just like how cool it's to go on these lakes and do the like with the rowboats, and that's all it where it started. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. That's great. Well, I mean, that's a really good point to bring up that, I mean, one of the great things about photography in general to me is the idea that it can be that simple. I mean, it can be as simple as an idea sketched while you're at the bar, a simple conversation with somebody that will yield bodies of work like yours that we're looking through, that it doesn't necessarily have to be high concept to yield beautiful imagery.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
this right here, that's just, I love how smooth and reflective the water is. You could almost flip this whole image upside down and it would be just as
Right.
gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one where, yeah, obviously totally normal to have sheep in your boat. That's no
Yeah.
big deal.
This one actually, it was just like very close to my wife's parents' summer place. So and they got this place with these sheeps, and there's like a couple of miles from our place.
Hmm.
So I just asked, like, it would be really cool to have some sheeps, just on the boat. Like, okay, let's do it.
I love that you have these ideas and make them happen, that you're always willing to ask, hey, can we put sheep in a boat?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, hey, let me look through some of your other categories here that um getting into some images like these that are more high concept. Tell me about your process working with agencies to not just have the creative, but execute some images like these that, I mean, are these months long projects and these are for ads, or like, how do these images come about?
Yeah, these are all for advertising world.
Okay.
And this was for Nike long time ago, and it was just like I can't remember how the layout was looking, what I got from the agency, but it was just like something that the guy is just like holds in the sky, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Is that dog, like that dog, that's not the real size of that dog, is it?
It's almost real size. So what we did, we cast like a small short guy and
Uh-huh.
and a big dog, and then I took like a wide angle lens
Mm-hmm.
and sort of like distorted it slightly. I mean, just to make it little, you know, over to
Yeah.
like, and that's for FedEx. You can ship your stuff like,
That makes sense. Okay.
yeah. That's
No.
for the chocolate bar, that
Mm-hmm.
sneaker. Yeah, so that's for what it's for. It's that campaign they had for years, like that. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, now tell us about Godzilla. How did you end up working with Godzilla? That's,
Uh,
I mean, you are
this,
one of very few people on the planet who can say they worked with Godzilla as your talent.
yeah, it was sort of like model making, and there was like a little TV production also with this, but this image is like very off from that TV production. So I just created the background, and we rented a boat, and you know, it was just like a lot of different pieces and plates, but it's came out quite nice actually.
I love it. That's great.
What
I,
I
I
what I
water I
like
water
what
skied
I
a lot
like
as a kid, so this
what I like
resonated with me.
what I really liked, I was able to I had a chance to be on that speedboat, like that really classic boat on the lake. So
Hmm.
that was an amazing experience.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things that I love about our work. For video and photo, we end up to capture the images we get, we end up in a lot of interesting places and meeting a lot of interesting people. And so, whether it's the stories that we hear or the experiences of getting to ride in a boat like that, those
Yeah,
are all such huge benefits in my mind of the work we get to do.
exactly. I'm just telling and mentioning that to, maybe assistants or some other people who are in the shoots, that like, can they imagine like we are here on top of this mountain, or we are like in someone's like really strange backyard, how, I mean, what could be the chances to getting here, in other professions, what do you do.
Exactly. Yep.
And it doesn't need to be like top of the mountain, it could be just like some other strange interesting places, it's just like it's super super interesting.
Hmm. For me, that's been like racetracks and factories
Yeah,
and um museums and gardens, like behind the scenes at places like that where you just would never imagine being there otherwise.
right.
So, Markku, tell me a little bit about, we've talked a lot about your willingness to approach people with an idea you may have in the moment and make it happen. Tell me about, membership in an organization like APA and kind of the networking aspect of it, your community, your photography community in Palm Springs, back in LA, back in Finland, in London. Tell me a little bit about the people who help you make your vision come to life, whether it's, those people in rowboats or crew in different cities around the world.
um so you mean like the industry people who are
Yeah. Like,
right?
do you rely or like brainstorming with people? And it seems like you're somebody who's really good at making it happen on your own. If you have an idea, you could go out and make it happen. But things like Godzilla on water skis, you obviously need other people to help make that vision a reality.
Yeah,
Do
and
you enjoy having those other people to brainstorm with and like make the big
yeah,
idea happen?
yeah, I mean, I always love to have these meetings with creatives, advertising people, and I mean, sometimes some other people, if I need some information about some ideas that like how to shoot or where to shoot. So I'm just quite, I mean, it's so helpful to find some people who can help me and help our team to figure it out, go to the right place and right time. And
Hmm. Well, Well, what's coming up next for you? And we were talking before we started recording about the weather in Palm Springs. And so I with kind of the landscape at your disposal, what are you looking to do next in your area? You have any big ideas for your next personal project?
No, I'm just waiting it to happen. Do you know, just like some idea like coming more sort of like visible in my mind, or some ideas, but it's about the time to what I do is like, if I don't have any ideas, I just jump into the car and I drive somewhere and listening some good music, and the music always drives me. And I think that's the same thing with most of the photographers. Like, music is a big thing in our sort of like a motor to find some new things. And so that's what I do. I'm just driving, playing good music, maybe stop somewhere, and if nothing comes up, I go back home. Maybe I'll go again a couple of days later, or just leave it for a while and then just waiting.
Yep, I understand.
Waiting that someone says like some magical word in some, like when going to the beer somewhere in the local like breweries, it's like, have you seen that place? It's like really cool. Like, tell me more.
Because and that's kind of the beauty of it, is that even if you don't have an idea in the moment, it's coming, it's out there. You just have to kind of let it happen, that because it's gonna show itself at some point. But hey, before we go, you mentioned music being important, and we talked about your guitar on the wall before we got on this call. Tell me about music that I was reading about on your website, about how at an early age you were a music fan and a musician. And I think you're right, because I'm a big music person too. I love having music on when I work, although especially when I'm video editing, I can't listen to anything with lyrics because it pulls my attention away from what I'm trying to work on.
Yeah.
And so how does, tell me about the role music plays in your, whether it's idea process or when you're shooting, and just for you personally.
It's sort of like, it has like a big role in my process. So as you mentioned, that when I was a kid, I was playing in a band. I was like thinking, should I try to get better, and in this rock and roll world in small Finland town, and or should I concentrate this photography more. And
Wow.
and that's it was about the time there was like this movie called Blow Up. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen it. I know of it.
Yeah. So I saw that film that age, like maybe three times, and I just went back into that film again, and that was like a big influence to what I did when I decided to just like concentrate more to photography. So that the music is from that time, like when I was playing the band. But I'm using music so that, like, let's say like these days when I'm doing post-production, I'm listening maybe classical music, which I sort of like love more and more. And during the day, I'm just like turning to jazz and then something else. But it's just like, if it's these different genres, like what I'm, even sometimes if I need like energy, I might go like a punk rock or something else. But it's I remember once like that one particular image of like those holes in the sky, the baseball. So when I was driving to the location, I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen something heavy metal all the way to the location. Like, whoa, that was like good decision.
So you can be pumped up and aggressive and like ready to be in a home run mindset.
Yes, yeah, but still keep it relaxed, Yeah.
I love it. Well, Markku, thank you so much for being with us today, for taking the time to tell us some stories about your images, but especially your process. I love that you are so willing to approach people wherever they are and wherever you are, and capture the awesome work that you do. And so we look forward to seeing more of what comes next from you. And to all the viewers out there, keep an eye on the APA SF website and especially our Instagram feed to see featured work from Bay Area artists, and especially to keep up on events coming up here in the Bay Area too. So for APA SF, I'm Jon Milavec. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.